Hello guys, so today I am going to be moving my large Dubia Roach colony that I have in this underbed storage system here. I have 6 tubs a part of this underneath my bed in the animal room, and this one right here is for Dubia Roaches. So that was the plan since I set up this whole thing, and before they were in a different tub. I'll show you that. They were in this tub right here. Now this tub is an underbed storage tub also, but this was actually under my bed before, when I had like a normal mattress or a normal bed holder basically. This slid under my bed, and that's how I always kept the Dubia Roaches. I had the heat pad just like I do now. That's what that cord is, going to there. Before I did the whole reptile room or animal room renovation, I had them in this. Now, this may not make a whole lot of sense to some of you, because if you've kept Dubia Roaches, if you watch videos or read up on them, normally people keep them in vertical egg crates. I read somewhere it was like the most efficient, like the best way to do it is like a bunch of vertical egg crates. Now, what I've found is, since I use this, is I always stack the egg crates horizontally on top of each other, and I'll show you that here. So this is how I've always stacked them, and if you go start taking these off, there's not very many. Those are some lesser mealworms right there, but anyway, here's another one right here. There's not very many roaches towards the top. Oh, that one is giving birth. That doesn't look right. Maybe it's prolapsed. I don't know. I don't tend to mess with it. You can see that female right there. I just kind of let them do their things. But you can see down towards here, it gets to a higher concentration of Dubia Roaches the farther you go down, because all the heat is down there. So if you get all the way to the bottom, it's just like filled with a ton of adults, right? So basically, they're only using that one little area here. So we have this whole 27-gallon tub, and there's all this space here, and they can't use any of that because they only use the flat area down there. So they have this feeding area in front here. I'll put all these back. They have this feeding area here, which I have some leaves and stuff for them to hide in, and then I have some oats for them to eat as their dry food, and then I'll lay down vegetables here. So half of their area is feed area, and the other half is just this one little, couple inches tall area that they all sit, because they don't really want to use the vertical space because it's not as warm. So I think that I'm going to move them back into here, because what I was thinking with that is I was going to keep them vertically, and the thing with that is that the heater was on the ground. So if I kept them all vertically, they couldn't, I don't know, it was weird to have, and it was really hard to get them out as well. Like this way, what I just did with, I took them all down. That's what I do every time I need to get feeders for my leopard gecko. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move it back into here. Now, I would have never done that, except it fits perfectly on top of the iguana's cage. So what I'll do is, I don't necessarily need to move the heater, because it actually stays quite warm up there, and that was the plan originally. If I put this right above those two, you see those two things, if I slid it back behind one of those, I probably wouldn't need a heater because those get really warm, but it actually gets surprisingly warm from this heater. I put my temperature thing, it's right here. So right now it's 83 up there, and that's not even right over the thing. It's just quite a ways down there. But as you can see, this is a probe or whatever, and I put this down there, and it was 90 to 100 degrees in that really hot spot where they all sit. So they obviously like it, and it's not hurting them. So I'm going to go ahead and move the heater with them as well. And then this, I have a couple different options I could use. I could use it for storage like the other ones, or I can possibly turn it into a future incubator, because I plan on breeding the crested geckos and possibly turtles in the future as well. So it would be kind of nice to have. I think this would work really well as an incubator. It has these holes there, and then I could get it really humid in there, and like hot and everything, basically how you want an incubator. And you could, from my research, I've found that you could do turtle eggs and crested gecko eggs in the same place, and they'd be all good. And then I have a good area to regulate them. But in the future, I could even get more of these, or that's my plan really, is to get more of these and then cover the top. As you can see right now, I have a crested gecko, that's Linus. He's actually doing well. I'm not going to move him because I don't want to mess with him very much. But he's in there, and it's probably too warm for him in there. I need to move him somewhere else now I think about it. Okay, so real quick, before I can start on the Dubia Roaches, I'm going to do something that's probably going to be a little bit regrettable. I'm going to go ahead and move all of this wood in this tub out of the tub and up to behind those containers. Eventually I'm going to want to use that space for Dubia Roaches, but for now I'm going to go ahead and move the wood up there because I want to get it out of the way, and it's sanitized, so I don't want it to leave my room. And I'm going to be building new enclosures, so I'm probably going to use it in my room at some point. So I'm going to go ahead and add those up there. But up there's a bunch of wood for some different projects, so eventually I'm going to move that wood down because that's probably definitely 100% a fire hazard. And I'm going to move that back down once I'm done, once I do projects or whatever. And I'll probably get a bunch of these and just line the whole top of it. And then I have a Madagascar hissing roach colony, which probably won't need more than this space than for a long time. And then a red runner roach colony, which I hope to buy more. And it's also, they're already breeding. The hissing cockroaches haven't started breeding yet. But eventually I'd like a colony where it would actually fill up this entire area of having that many roaches, because they're so tiny. So you'd have like thousands in like this one area. I probably have like 100 or 200 in that thing. I don't even know. So yeah, like thousands and thousands would take to fill this up. But I really want to have a ton of Dubia roach colonies, like multiple, like so many that I would feel like there'd be overcrowded in this one, and then there'd need to be other ones. Like that's how many Dubia roaches I want. Just like a ton of Dubia roaches. So anyway, I'm gonna get to it. I'm just going to be taking all of these and I'll be lining them here, and then that's where the food will go. So I'll probably do like up to here, and then I'll do the same type of system right there as I do here. And I actually honestly don't clean out my Dubia roach enclosure. Like I don't plan on doing that, like fully clean it out, because the thing is sometimes this area gets moldy but that area doesn't. And since I've added these what is it, the buffalo beetles, or the lesser mealworm, as you saw earlier, there's tons of mealworms. You can see one right there, and they eat the dead Dubia roaches. If Dubia roaches die in here, they will go ahead and eat them. And I know because I've like found one dead before, and I picked him up, and like all the poop and stuff under it was like moving and stuff from the lesser mealworms. And it's not, I mean, I'd be grossed out if it was like maggots or whatever, but since they look just like mealworms, but they're just a lot smaller. And I got these when I got the red runner roaches, that I put them in this colony. I won't really clean it out very often. Like I said, only if this area gets moldy, but other than that, not really. So that's kind of just how I keep these. So there's kind of like a substrate of poop back there. I don't really care. I'm going to leave it. But the thing with that is that there's all those lesser mealworms, and you could pick them out or whatever, but even still, there's going to be like the babies, and those things are just microscopic. So well, they're really, really small and they're hard to see, so I don't want to like kill them. So I'm just gonna dump all this stuff in there with the roaches. So this should be a super easy move, and then I'm gonna take that, take the heater and take the roaches and put them up there. And they might even be, they're honestly gonna be like a little bit more accessible to me up there, so should work out very well. So I went and got quite a few new egg crates. I've been collecting them. You can buy like egg crate, I don't know where or how, but I just go ahead and keep the ones from eating eggs. And then I simply moved over the Dubia Roaches. Okay, so this is really cool. You can see all these little things right here. These are actually pupa, which is a little bit nuts. So all of these little things are the lesser mealworms turning into the buffalo beetles. So if I can pick one up here, you can see they might move a little bit. So kind of like how moths and butterflies will pupate, so do beetles. So, oh, what the heck? There's one, maybe it's shedding or something. It looks like this is a dead Dubia roach that hasn't been decomposed. I think it was inside one of this thing, like on top of it or something. They die. It happens. This is an adult, so it could have died from old age. I doubt it. It's not very big, so it died naturally somehow, because all the other ones are doing fine. So I'll go ahead and throw this in the iguana's cage for the isopods to decompose it. But now I just have the big bulk, which is all under that one main thing. So I'll go ahead and bring that over next. So this will prove my point that all of the roaches were going down to the same exact place. You'll see in a second, I bring over that one, all of those roaches were just in that one area because that's where the heat is. But now that it's like a wider bottom, they can kind of spread out between the area where the heat will be, and I think it'll be a lot better for them. So super quick, I'd just like to clarify why I dumped all their poop in there. This is why. There is like 10 lesser mealworms in my hand right now, and I just scooped a little bit of poop. So that's the reason why, is because I don't want to kill all of those guys by throwing away the Dubia roach poop, because I want those guys to pupate and turn to beetles, and then take care of all the dead roaches or old food or whatnot. So here it is. It's been a good temperature and humidity up there. I have my probe thing in there, and it's been doing well with the heat mat, and I've been getting it down and everything. I can reach it just fine. It's pretty high up, but it's been working very well. I like it a lot. So I think this was quite successful. Again, also I didn't remove the poop because of like the eggs that would be in there, and that's not Dubia roach eggs, those are the lesser mealworm eggs. But what I could do is, if I did want to clean it out for some reason, like get out all the poop or whatever, I could dump it into my iguana's cage, because my iguana's cage is bioactive, so the poop would help support the plants, and the lesser mealworms could just live in here just fine. So I just wanted to mention that real quick. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I think that this is pretty genius, if you ask me, like using the underbed thing like this, and then on top of the iguana's cage. I think that this will end up being very cool if I get like a bunch of roaches and whatnot. I want other roach colonies. Mainly I want giant cave roaches is the main thing that I'm the next one that I want, but that's pretty much it. After that, I just want to expand the colonies as much as I can. But I'm really hoping that my Madagascar hissing cockroaches will start having babies. I'm like pretty much positive I have a couple of adults, but I'm not like amazing at telling the difference of male and female. I know the males have the horns, but yeah, the red runner roaches are breeding, and I should probably move them into a bit of a bigger enclosure pretty soon. But it's all very exciting. I'm hoping to really maximize space up here and get lots of insects, so then I can have those all the way across, and then like that type of container all the way across inside, and then it would get like really warm all in that area because of those heat things, being like the heat being locked in, and then basically it's kind of like two birds one stone type of thing. I'm heating the iguana cage, but I'm also heating all these insects, which would be really great. So hope Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, like down below. If you have any comments or concerns, in the comments below. And if you want more content, then subscribe. Have a fantastic day.